Happy Monday, everyone. So glad that you're here with us. The crew, the team is all here. They just bombed down the stairs really quickly, like they knew it was 6 o'clock. So we've got Shanti and Musketeer here with us for a little bit. I'm Mikki, if you've not practiced with me before, and I'm just really excited to have this time and space together. I'm going to encourage you tonight as we get started to just make sure that your space feels ready to practice in. We often talk about this practice being a feel good practice. And tonight, I'm going to modify that just a bit to just have this be a feeling practice, to give ourselves some space to feel and to just observe all of the things that are going on in our hearts and our minds right now. And so I think a part of that is creating a space that feels welcoming and safe, and non disruptive. So if there's something in your space that's going to drive you a little bit bonkers during class, maybe a for child that's distracting, I'm sorry, I love you. Maybe it's a clock that just makes a ton of noise, or a phone that's going to distract you, or just something that's going to be kind of a blip in your focus and your space. Take some time to get rid of it and just create your space, that you can settle into. All right. And with that, we're going to get started in a comfortable seat. I'm going to recommend crisscross applesauce sukhasana this evening, but seated on the heels would also work. And if you really just want to lay down on the ground, then definitely lay down on the ground for a little bit. And let's be really intentional as you settle in here to position your body and your hands, your eyes, all in a way that allow you to start to move inward. Just start to be here in this space. And let's all collectively take a big breath in, fill up. And a full breath out. Do that one more time. Big, complete inhale, fill up. And let it go. And then let's start to breathe in and out in a rhythm that feels really good for you this evening. And start to hold space for yourself. A space where you can feel the feelings and emotions that you need to feel this evening without needing to be okay, without needing to even be able to define those feelings. Sometimes the English language just does not give us enough words. To feel those feelings instead of analyzing them and thinking about them and judging them. And just begin our practice here tonight by holding space for yourself. All of the things you've been shoving aside as you went about your day. And sometimes it feels good to do this, and sometimes it doesn't. But while this practice can be a really powerful tool for stepping away from our lives and giving ourselves a break, it can also be a really powerful tool for showing up and sitting with whatever we're experiencing. And sometimes that feels good, and sometimes that's uncomfortable, sometimes that's hard. But it's empowering. And it's healing. Wherever you're at, let's bring maybe both hands onto your heart, or hand onto heart and a hand onto belly for a few breaths, and just literally hold space. And if you're feeling like you have emotional space this evening, then maybe you also invite in the emotions of your community, our country in this moment, maybe friends or family. And my invitation to you tonight, instead of moving in a way that feels good and letting feel good be the determining factor tonight for your practice, My invitation to you tonight instead is to move in a way that maintains space for you to feel your emotions and to move with your emotions without that need to push things aside. Let's stay here, settling here for just a couple more breaths. And if you have an entirely different intention and focus for your practice tonight, then take this time to let that form and settle. And let's go ahead and bring hands away from your body if they're touching you. And if you are seated or on your back, we're going to actually just make our way up and over into a child's pose. And if you're for children, we'll need to vacate in order for that to happen, probably. So let's go knees wide, big toes together. Walk the arms out in front of you. Let your hips come back to your heels. They probably won't touch the heels, but let there be the sense of tucking into yourself. If it works in your body, let the forehead find its way to the mat. And just let the elbows be soft here. And taking a big full inhale into all sides of your waist, 360 degrees around yourself. And a full, complete exhale. As you inhale, let's come on up into table. Bring your knees to hip width. And then with your next inhale, once you're settled, let's drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the head, cow pose. And then exhale, round your spine into cat. Yes, Mom, I do need 2 mats. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, cow, drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the head. And exhale, rounding the spine for cat. Inhaling, moving into and through your cow shape. And exhaling, moving into and through your cat shape. And let's keep the knees and the shins as they are, but at the end of your cat, let the hips press all the way back to your heels. Let the forehead make its way down toward the floor for child's pose. And then inhale, we'll come up through table and right into your cow shape. Drop the belly, lift the heart, lift the head, and then exhale, round your spine into cat and press the hips all the way back to your child's pose. We're going to start to add on here a bit. So inhale, come back up through table and cow. And then let's tuck your toes under, take your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Just let those hips lift high, let the head hang heavy. Let's take a full inhale here, breathe in. Full exhale here, breathe out. And then as you inhale, let's bend the knees, bring them back down to the ground into table. Exhale, round your spine into cat and press all the way back into child's. Adding on again. So we'll start the same way. Inhale, table into cow. Tuck the toes, downward facing dog as you exhale. It's your pose, Shanti. And then as you inhale, let's come forward into plank, top of a push-up. And then just head right on back to your downward facing dog. How about we do that one more time? Inhale, rolling any amount forward. It doesn't have to make it all the way to plank. And then exhale, pull back, down dog. Let's bend your knees as you inhale, coming down into table. And exhale, round your spine, cat, all the way back into child's pose. Tucking back into yourself. Full inhale here. Full complete exhale. We'll begin again. Inhale, table into cow. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, plank pose. As you find your plank, we'll drop the knees to the ground and we'll lower all the way to the belly. Elbows point straight back, all the way down. On the ground there, go ahead and untuck your toes. And let's pull back on the hands as you inhale, lift the heart, lift the head, baby cobra. And then exhale, let the forehead come on down toward the ground. Let's repeat that twice more. Inhale, baby cobra. Start to feel your legs engage, the quads engage. Exhale, lower. And then inhale, lifting one more time. Little baby cobra, just barely any weight in your hands. You could virtually high five your neighbors if you wanted to. And then lower back down. Inhale, press into hands and knees. Come on up, table. Tuck your toes and downward facing dog. As you find your downward facing dog, let's start to walk your feet in toward your hands, moving toward the front of your mats. Bend your knees as much as you need to, and let's fold over your legs. Now let's keep a gentle bend to your knees. We'll inhale, slide the fingers up the shins, lift up halfway, and then exhale, open the mouth and let it go as you fold and fall. Just be kind of dramatic about it. Inhale, halfway lift. Feel the length. Open your mouth, exhale. Oh, let it go. And then let's bend your knees a little more and roll up inch by inch by inch, all the way to standing. At the top there, let's take your hands, reach them up toward the sky. Palms joined together overhead, and exhale, hands down into your heart. One more time there. Inhale, reaching. And exhale, bring it in, hands to heart. Let's pause here for a couple breaths. Feel your feet rooting down into the ground. Feel the power and support of your legs, the space and the movement of your breath. And then inhale, reach your hands up toward the sky. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And as you fold, we'll step your left leg back. Drop that back knee down to the ground and inhale, hands to the sky. Staying for your exhale, feeling the release where you need to feel it. Inhaling to create space. And then exhale, hands down around your front foot. Tuck the back toes under, lift the knee, and let's step back. It doesn't need to be graceful. Just find a way back, downward facing dog. You are invited to stay here or return to child's pose. If you want to keep moving, inhale, plank. Knees up or down, we lower chaturanga to the belly. Inhale, baby cobra. If you're feeling like you want to lift up higher, great, but maybe it feels nice just to keep it a little lower to the ground today. Exhale, lower back down. Inhale, table pose. And downward facing dog. I'm just getting into this rhythm, this steady movement here. Inhale, if it makes sense, left foot to the sky. And exhale, left foot forward between your hands. Again, it doesn't need to be graceful. Back knee comes down. Inhale, low lunge. Stay for the exhale. Feel release where you need it. Inhale, create space. And then exhale, hands come down. Tuck those back toes under, lift the knees, step the right foot next to the left. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, release. Let yourself drape and hang. And then let's bend the knees and roll up inch by inch by inch again. And let that be that really gradual rolling up to your mountain pose, Tadasana. Inhale, hands to the sky. And exhale, hands to heart. Pausing here, being here with all of your attention, all of your mind. Inhale, hands to the sky. And exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Right leg steps back. You can put the back knee down if you'd like, or this round, keep it up, and let's come on up into Crescent Lunge. Again, we'll settle for the exhale. Stay for the inhale. And then exhale, hands come down around your front foot. And let's step back, downward facing dog. Honoring the space that you need tonight to feel, to be able to observe and to be with yourself. So maybe that's stillness here. Maybe that's coming forward to plank. Knees up or down, chaturanga, nice and slow, nice and steady. Inhale, cobra. Back to the belly. Inhale, table. And downward facing dog. Right leg lifts, inhale. And foot between the hands, exhale. So back knee up or down, we rise into your lunge. Softening, feeling as you exhale. Creating space as you breathe in. And hands come down around your front foot. We'll step left foot next to your right. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees. And let's come up into chair pose. And find a chair that makes you want to sit and stay a while. Keeping the legs in chair, let's fold over your legs, hands reach down and back. Let the head be heavy, and then inhale, sit up, rise up, reach up. Let's do that twice more. Exhale, fold. It can be as dramatic as you need it to be. Inhale, come up to chair. One more time, releasing. And sit up. And let's keep your body upright, but pull your hands back behind you. Latch thumbs or all of the fingers, and we'll fold over your thighs, letting that clasp in your arms fall away from the low back. Let your head be heavy. And if this is too much for your shoulders, then just go ahead and separate your hands, fisting them, and kind of letting the arms and the fists drop away from your back. One more full breath here. And then release your arms, let them dangle down around your feet. And one final time here, let's bend those knees a lot and roll up gradually. Inhale, hands go skyward. And let's pause there, keeping the hands reaching toward the ceiling. Imagine you're hanging from the monkey bars or a pull-up bar. Allowing the parts of you that feel condensed or heavy to elongate, to release. Let's take your right hand, drop it down your right thigh, take your left arm, reach it up and over toward the right, standing side bend. Stay really connected to that left foot. And then back up to center with both hands. Same thing, second side. Left hand down, left thigh, right hand up and over. And back up to center. And exhale, hands to heart. As you settle here, let the eyes go forward and settle upon something that is still and unmoving. Let's shift into your right foot. Bring your left knee to the chest. Creating stability amongst the instability here. And maybe instead of hands together, you bring both hands onto your heart, or even one hand on heart and one hand on belly. One more full breath here. And then let's take that left leg back into your lunge. Back heel off the ground if you can. Hands maybe coming up to the sky if your shoulders are happy with that tonight. And let's press into your right big toe, straighten the front leg. And then exhale, bend the front knee. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhale, straighten. And bend. One more time, straighten. And bend. And we're going to switch to the back leg. So once that front knee bends, let's bend the back knee. Doesn't have to be a huge bend. And then inhale, straighten. 2 more, bend. Minimizing how much the rest of the body moves, and straighten. And last time, bend. And straighten. Let's keep that back leg really powerful as it finds straight. Bring your hands together overhead. We're going to clasp all of those fingers together. Turn the palms to the sky. Let your eyes be straight forward for now. Just press up like you're holding the ceiling with your palms. And then as you exhale, we're going to start to press your palms forward. Let your upper back round back. Let your head fall forward. Now imagining that the hands are pushing the wall away in front of you. And then let's bring the hands back up. Let the head come with. Press back through your left heel a little bit more. And we're going to take your palms toward the right, away from your back leg, any amount. Right back into that side bend. Inhale to center. Release the fingers toward the ceiling. And hands around your front foot. Let's step back. Downward facing dog. And we're all going to end up on our belly. If the way that I guide us into that is not for you, then you can meet us there. We're going to come forward to plank. I'm going to show this first round with knees down. You're welcome to keep your knees lifted if you'd like. And we're going to replace your right elbow with your right hand with the right elbow. Left hand with left elbow. Coming into forearm plank. One full breath here. And then go ahead and let the hips and the thighs come on down to the ground. Go ahead and untuck your toes, pointing those toes back. And we'll settle for a few breaths in our Sphinx Pose. So elbows are directly below your shoulders. Hands can be palm down into the floor, or you can fist the hands, or you can clasp the hands, whatever feels nice there. And then as those elbows press down into the ground, give the heart and the chest enough support from your arms and your elbows that the heart feels really buoyant. Almost like your collarbones could lift up higher than the back of your shoulders. Let the back of the neck be really long. And feel the release of the thighs and the pelvis into the ground. Broaden across the front of the shoulders, soften at the base of the neck. Big full inhale. Open your mouth, let it go. And then slowly go ahead and slide your elbows out to the side. Let your forehead come down toward the ground. Slide your hands back by your ribs. And we'll press up table and downward facing dog. As you find your down dog, let's bend your knees, lift your heels, look forward, and then with your exhale, walk, step, or hop, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend your knees, come on up into chair. Yay. This one's for you, Jamie. Inhale, straighten the legs. stand up, and then exhale, sit back toward your chair. And each one, I'm going to encourage you to let it go a little bit deeper. Inhale, rise back up, but there is that fact that we have to come back up. So choose accordingly. Exhale, sit down and back. Inhale, stand up. How about 2 more? Sit down. Inhale, come on up. And 1 more time. We'll rise all the way up to standing and let your hands come down into your heart. Let the eyeballs settle in front of you. Let the gaze get steady. And let's shift into your left foot. Let your right knee come up. And settle once again in that practice, that work of maintaining space. Maintaining stability for yourself that gives you the space to feel and observe even when things are unstable. You've got maybe 2 or 3 more breaths here. Maybe your hands come to heart or heart and belly if that makes sense this evening. And then take that right leg and begin to step it back into your lunge. And if it feels nice, hands go to the sky. Back knee, back heel are off the ground. Let's inhale, press into that left big toe, straighten the front leg. And then bend the front knee as you exhale. 2 more, straighten. And bend. And straighten. And bend. We'll move to the back leg, bending the back knee. And straightening. 2 more, bend. And straighten. 1 more, bend. And straighten. Let's keep that back leg very, very straight. Bring the fingers into that clasp again. Thumbs toward the sky. Let the eyes just be straight forward for now. Pressing up through the palms like you're holding the ceiling up on your palms. If you're outside, maybe you're holding the sky up. Let the base of the neck soften. And then take those palms, press them forward. Let your upper back round back like a little cat shape. Let the head fall forward. And then bring it back up, palms toward the sky, head up. And let's take a little side bend toward the left, letting those palms, like they're painting the ceiling, move over toward the left. And then back to center. Hands come down around your front foot. Let's step back into downward facing dog. And we're going to make our way down to Sphinx Pose once again. So if you want to lower through plank, we'll come forward. Knees up or down. Left elbow replaces left hand. Right elbow replaces right hand. Full breath in your forearm plank. And then let the thighs and the pelvis and the belly come down to the ground. Untuck your toes and let's find your Sphinx. Again, settling here for a few breaths, feeling the anchoring, the foundation of the elbows, the arms. Feeling those upper arms, almost like strong columns. And then letting the heart move through those columns. One more full breath here. And then let's take those elbows wide, let the forehead come down. Hands come back by your side ribs, elbows bent, press up table. and downward facing dog. And as you settle into your down dog, let's take your right leg up and back. And any way that works for you, step that right foot forward between your hands. We're going to come up into your crescent lunge. You've been here before, that high lunge. And then let's ground your back heel and open up into warrior two. So the shoulders are facing the long edge of your mat. Right knee is pointing straight forward toward the right foot. And then let's bring your right elbow to your right thigh and take your left hand straight up toward the sky. Now, once you've got your left arm upward, we're going to turn the left palm, and so not just the hand, but the whole arm, to turn your palm to face the head end of your mat. And then let's bring that left arm alongside the left ear. Full breath there, just to feel that, to let the arm and the shoulder settle into it. And then we're going to turn your palm toward the sky, and like you're moving through thick air, push the hand back and toward your back thigh. And really try to keep the collarbone on that left side really broad and open. Your gaze can be wherever it feels good. We'll turn the palm back up toward the ceiling, sweep that arm up and forward. And then let's do that 2 more times. So palm faces up, sweep it back as you exhale. Turn the palm skyward, sweep it up and forward as you inhale. 1 more time. Exhale, sweep back. Inhale, sweep up and forward. Final 2 breaths here. You can stay or start to move your right hand closer to the floor. It might settle on your ankle or it might settle on the ground. And then let's keep your legs nice and bent. Come on up, reverse warrior. Left hand down the back leg, right hand reaching up and back. And then bring it back up, warrior two. You're going to bring your hands to your heart. Turn the feet to parallel, all 10 toes pointing the side, the long edge of your mat. And then toes out, heels in. Let's bend your knees and sit into horse or goddess. You can decide. So the important thing here is that the knees are pointing toward the middle of your feet. Not in, not past, just right at the middle. And we're going to bring your hands to your heart. Let the tailbone be heavy. Feel the inner line of the legs lengthen and the outer line engage. And then if you're feeling really good here, maybe your hands go up toward the sky. You could also clasp your hands like we did earlier and press the palms up toward the ceiling. Steady breath here, really getting down into those legs, feeling their support. One more full breath here. If your hands are anywhere but at your heart, go ahead and let them come back down. Slower than you want to, go ahead and straighten those legs. Oof. And then turn those back toes in once again. Turn your front toes toward the front of the mat. And let's take your hands down around your front foot. Let the back heel lift. And we'll step back into plank. Now, if you would like to head to down dog or child's pose, do it. If you want the vinyasa, we'll take the more traditional vinyasa again. So knees up or down, chaturanga, elbows bend. Inhale, back bend of your choosing. You might keep it low, or you might come up a little higher. All the way back down to the belly. Let's press up through table or plank. And downward facing dog. As you find your down dog, let's take your feet a little bit wider than your hips. Come up onto your tippy toes. And then let's take both of your heels toward the right. Toes turn toward the left and push the weight back into your hips. And then we'll come back to center. We'll do that same thing. Heels to the left, toes toward the right. And then back to center. As you come to center, let your heels drop toward the ground. Keep that right heel descending, left foot to the sky, and foot between your hands. Come on up, Crescent Lunge. Open up, Warrior Two. Once you're settled there, left elbow, left thigh. Right hand to the sky. And from deep in your shoulder, feel that rotation to turn your right palm toward the front of your mat. And we'll start to move that right arm closer to the right ear. And then again, like the air is super thick, let's turn your palm toward the ceiling. Press that hand back toward your back thigh. And then turn the palm to the ceiling and sweep that arm up and forward. Let's do that 2 more times. So the exhale to turn the palm up, sweep the arm back. Inhale, just turn the palm skyward and sweep it forward. Last one. As you take that arm forward, let's stay. Maybe you keep the elbow where it's at, but lift out of it a little bit. Maybe you take that left hand closer to the floor, lunging deeply into that left leg. Try to keep the front knee this bent. Come on up, Warrior Two. And let's reverse. Right hand down the back leg, left hand reaches up and back. And then bring it up, Warrior Two. Hands to heart. Let's turn all 10 toes toward the long edge of your mat. I'm going to flip around so you get my better side. Toes out, heels in once again. And let's sit down into horse or goddess. So again, you have the option to stay with hands maybe on your heart or belly, maybe hands at heart, maybe hands to the sky. Just let yourself get down into your legs. There's something for me about the deep lunges and the deep squats of yoga that brings me out of kind of the hamster wheel of my brain and just really down into my body, down into that sense of feeling as opposed to thinking, being instead of doing. Notice if the knees are starting to fall in and really keep those inner thighs long. You're here for the rest of class. I would never do that to you. Just one more breath. Maybe I would, but not today. And then go ahead and straighten your legs super, super slow. Turn the feet to parallel. And let's fold over your legs. Bend the knees any amount. Let your head release. Let the arms release. Hands can dangle on the ground. You can hold on to the outsides of your legs. If there are other versions here that you like, feel free. Let's settle for just a few more breaths. Let's feel almost like a waterfall draping over your spine or trickling down your spine. A sense of release all the way along the muscles that support your spine, back of the neck, all the way into the head. Let's take a big inhale here, fill up. And exhale, let it go. Bring your hands to the floor, press the ground away, and let's turn all 10 toes to the front of the mat. You can go ahead and just walk your hands forward. And back we go, downward facing dog. Now again, you can stay or take child's pose or inhale, plank. Chaturanga, knees up or down. And we're going to stay for a few breaths. We're going to linger in your cobra. So maybe it's low, maybe you come up high, but prepare to stay for a couple breaths. So just like in your Sphinx work, can you feel that lift that buoyancy of the heart, that sense that maybe the collarbones could be higher than the back of the shoulders. The back of the neck is super long. The shoulders are moving back. The front of the shoulders is broad. And then back to the belly you go. Exhale. Inhale, table or plank. And downward facing dog. Give your head a little nod and a little shake here. And then let the right leg lift. Bring that foot forward between your hands. Come on up. Crescent lunge. As you come up into that lunge, let's start to spin your back toes out. Let that heel come down to the ground. Warrior one. And then let's either bring your hands onto your hips with the elbows pointing back, or hands into that clasp of thumbs or all of the fingers once again. And let the knuckles drop toward the ground as the heart lifts, shoulders move back. Try not to force the shoulders back, but just allow there to be a release in the front of the shoulders and chest that you can breathe into. Option to stay here. Remember, less about doing, more about feeling, having the space to feel. Or if you want to play on one foot a little bit more, start to lean forward, transfer up onto your right foot. Come on up into warrior three with this clasp. Two more breaths wherever you're at. And then we'll bend the front knee and start to step back into your lunge. Let your hands release up to the sky. And then exhale, hands down around your front foot. Back knee up or down. We'll take your right hand up toward the ceiling, opening into that twist. And then let your right hand come down inside your right foot. Wiggle the right toes out toward the edge of the mat. Pop onto your fingertips. We're going to start to bend the back knee. And as you do that, I want you to feel sort of that Sphinx cobra sensation in the upper back, the heart, the neck. And then as you exhale, we're going to let both legs head towards straight. They might not both get there. And let the head fall forward as the spine rounds. So this is a movement called cat-cow lunge. It's like the movement of cat-cow in your spine, but over moving legs. We'll do it 2 more times. So both knees bend, heart lifts. If you hate this movement, you're like, this is horrible. You could just put your back knee down and feel that cobra work in the upper back. And then exhale, straighten both legs. Fold if you're moving. 1 more time. 2 knees bend, heart and head lift. Exhale, let the front leg straighten or both legs straighten and fold. And then let's bend just the front knee, look forward. And we're going to step your left foot outside your left hand. Toes out, heels in. Let's bend your knees, sneak the elbows to the thighs for football coach. The official term for this pose. Exhale, round your spine, let the head fall. And then inhale, lengthen the heart forward, let the belly soften. Feel the length from the tailbone through the crown of the head. Option to stay here. Option to lift the elbows, float the hands to the heart. Keep the back really long. So try not to round and hunch, but really, really long back here. If you lift the elbows off the thighs and it's too much, just bring them back down. And then final option, if you're really feeling it, hands go forward. Press your heels into the ground wherever you're at. Feel the heels pull back. And then exhale, go ahead and let yourself fold and let your legs straighten. Head releases. Maybe a little sway side to side. And then we'll bring the feet back to hip width. Inhale, halfway lift. And as you fold, we'll plant the hands and make your way back into downward facing dog. You might take a plank, chaturanga, back bend to get there. And I'm going to invite you to stay for a couple breaths in your cobra or your back bend shape if you choose to take that vinyasa. Back to the belly if you're in your back bend. Press up through table or plank. And downward facing dog. Allow your inhale to fill you up. Open your mouth, let it go. Home stretch here, left leg to the sky. And foot between your hands. Come up, crescent lunge. And then once you're up, go ahead and let that back heel spin down, the toes spin out, finding your warrior one. Let's bring your hands either onto your hips with the elbows bent, or hands into your clasp behind you, your choice. Start to feel that release across the front of the heart, the front of the shoulder. Stay here or lean over that front thigh and come on up into warrior three. Focusing on space. Stability amongst the instability. And then if you're flying, let's go ahead and step it back. Release hands to the sky from wherever you're at. And hands come down. Back heel off the ground if it's down. Right hand stays, left hand lifts up into your twist. Just feel all of the space across the heart, the vibrancy of your arms. And then let the left hand come down inside the left foot. Wiggle that left foot out, toes out a little bit. Let's bend both knees, let the heart lift. Feel that smile, if you will, across the collarbones. Remember, you could stay here if this is best for you, or exhale, straighten both legs and fold. 2 more breaths here. Inhale, 2 knees bend, heart lifts. 2 legs straighten, and we bow. 1 more. Knees bend, heart lifts. And fold. Let's bend just your front knee, look forward. Step your right foot outside your right hand, toes out, heels in. Option 1, football coach, elbows on thighs. Option 2, for those of you that like malasana squat, let the hips come down and let's bring your hands together in front of your heart. So football coach or squat, maybe you let the eyes close. Let there be a sense of bowing in toward your hands, toward your heart. A sense of holding space for yourself here. If your body hates these shapes, we're heading down to the ground after this. You're welcome to come down onto the ground into your seat. If you're happy where you're at with hands at heart, stay. Or let's take your right arm out to the side. So if you're in squat, it'll be in front of the leg. Right hand will be on the ground. If you're in football coach, you'll just keep the elbow on the thigh. And then left arm for both of those shapes will come up and out on the diagonal. So just kind of like that T twist we did a little bit ago, feel the length, the space, the energy across the heart, across the arms. And then we'll bring it back to center, hands at heart. Full breath here. Other side, left arm out if you're in squat, or it'll just be left elbow on thigh if you're in football coach, right hand up on the diagonal. And then back to center. 1 more breath here. And hands or no hands. Down we go. Bloop. As you find the ground, soles of the feet together, knees open. Let's hold on to feet, ankles, or shins in some way. Sit up tall and really allow the legs to just get grounded and heavy. They supported you a lot tonight, so now let them find their freedom, find their release. Just a couple breaths here. Feeling the length, the height of your spine. Notice the effect of movement tonight on your body, on your mind, on your heart. And then hands to outer knees. Help press the knees together. Let's bring your feet flat onto the ground with the knees bent. And let's lower ourselves down onto our back. As you come down, we're going to place the feet flat on the ground with the knees bent, feet hip width apart. And we're going to bring your arms into T-Rex arms. So elbows pinned to the ground beside you, little short hands and arms. You can make T-Rex claws if you want to. You can also make T-Rex noises if you want to. I'll spare you mine. You could also just be really plain and boring about this. And let's press your upper arms into the ground, the outer shoulders into the ground, and feel that heart puff. It's a very scientific term. That little space behind the heart, between the shoulder blades puffing toward the chest, away from the ground. Feel that space across the front of the shoulder, that sense that your collarbones could be closer to your head than the back of your shoulders. So it's kind of up in the front, down in the back. And then some of you stay here. This is an amazing work for your posture, really great release if you've been at a computer for any part of your day. Or keep what you've built in the upper back, start to press into your feet, lift your hips up away from the ground. Now, the work of bridge pose seems like it would be the lift of the hips, but it's actually what we started and built on the ground before we came up. So try to keep that sense of your chest moving toward your chin, the back of the shoulder descending away from the head. And then nice and slowly, let those hips return down to the ground. And just let the T-Rex hands relax onto your belly. We're going to come up one more time, so don't get too comfortable, but take a couple breaths here. The longer we wait, the longer it'll be there waiting for us. So let's go. T-Rex arms. Create the work in the upper back. Let those shoulders melt into the ground. Feel the buoyancy of the heart puff. And then press into your feet, lift your hips. You can stay here with your T-Rex arms, or you could straighten the arms. Find that clasp behind the back that we did a couple times tonight. You might wiggle your shoulders underneath you a little bit more. Press the arms into the ground. Keep moving the upper back into the chest toward the chin. Feel length up the back of the neck. Ease in the jaw. Final breath here. With your next exhale, release whatever clasp you have. Let the arms come down. And again, let the hands just make their way onto the belly, maybe one on belly, one on heart. Let those feet fall out as the knees fall in. Full breath in. Full breath out. And let the hands come on down to the ground beside you. Let's separate the knees and bring your right ankle to your left thigh. I'm going to recommend actually sliding your arms out to a T or a goalpost. And then let's let the legs fall toward the left in this figure 4 shape. So your outer left thigh will come to the ground and your right foot will find the floor. And you can just let the legs do their own thing, or if it feels nice, you could take your left hand to that inner right thigh and push away. If you would rather have a sense of support rather than effort or depth, you could let that left hand slide down to your right ankle and hold the ankle. Try not to judge how you feel in this moment or how this practice went for you or how it seemed to affect you. Just observe and notice. Maybe even feeling without a need to put labels or terms to what you're experiencing here in this moment. And then let's bring the legs back to center. Let your right foot come on down to the ground. We'll do the same thing on the second side. So left ankle, right thigh, legs fall to the right. You can either add some depth, sensation to the shape by pushing into that inner left thigh, or you can support yourself by holding the left ankle. And you could also just keep that right arm on the ground out to the side. One final breath here. Let's bring it back to center. Maybe bring your legs in for one final hug of those knees. Maybe a happy baby if that feels nice. And then let's set ourselves up for a few moments of relaxation and release here. So, sort of like at the beginning of your practice, where I said to get rid of anything in your space that's going to detract from your personal space. Take that same moment of observation here. If there's anything touching you or distracting you, or if maybe you need a shape that's not laying on your back to really settle in tonight. Maybe you hold space for yourself by laying your hands on belly or heart. And gift yourself with these moments of stillness and silence. Not to analyze, not to work, not to plan, just to feel, hold space for yourself. Allow your next inhale to come in a little more fully once again. And your exhale to release completely. And start to kind of form your breath into a rhythm and a space that you'd like to take with you tonight off of your mat. As it makes sense, start to add some movement back into your body. Just take your time, no rush. Little by little, we'll move our way from where you're at to a comfortable seat. And as you find that comfortable seat, let your hands come together in front of your heart, palm to palm, and bow in gently, ever so gently, to yourself. Continuing to hold space for you and your emotions and feelings as you head off tonight. Because by holding space for yourself, you are then able to hold space for others. Musketeer agrees. Thank you all so much for coming together tonight and practicing as a community. The light within me honors the light within each and every one of you. Namaste. Thank you guys so much. I've loved having you here. We are continuing these classes this week and next week, and then we'll begin to transition to a hybrid of virtual and in real life classes at that point. More information to come out this week. We do have Salem classes starting up again June 14th. So the more information coming. Tonight's class and all of our classes this week. So Wednesday with Jamie, Saturday morning at 10 with me. We are donating all donations that you give us directly to the Black Visions Collective in Minnesota, which is a Black, trans, and queer-led social justice organization that's on the ground in Minnesota doing really important work right now. And we are happy to be able to do our small part in supporting them. So any donation you give via Venmo or PayPal is going directly there. There's information in the description of class tonight about how to do that. And Jamie at 6 on Wednesday, me at 10 on Saturday. I think those are your announcements. And that's it. So thank you guys so much. I hope you have a lovely, lovely week. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your friends and family and community. And I'll see you soon. Thank you, Howard. Oh, we're also chatting over on Zoom if you need to connect and want to connect tonight. Thank you so much, Karen. Let me put the link to Zoom in the chat feature here so that you can come join us if you would like. Guys, we'll be in real life cheersing pretty soon. Thank you, Jennifer. I'm so glad you were here with us. Here comes that Zoom link. Thanks, Mom. Thank you, Heidi. I'm glad you were here with us. Guys, my hair is always such a mess after these classes. How do you even look at me? Thank you, Nicole. I appreciate you. All right, guys, I'm shutting it down. Enjoy your week. See you soon. Bye, Jerry. Bye, Cheryl. Thank you.